As stringy as this is, and the rounds being over 3-foot diameter, there will be no easy way to deal with this. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to talk about the best way to split really big firewood rounds. This one here is about 36-inch diameter, and I think it's going to make a good test subject for us. Now, in the past, I've done videos with 3 to 4 foot diameter rounds using a splitting maul, a sledgehammer and wedges, quartering it with the chainsaw, and just recently I did some big rounds on the Easton Made Ultra and a homeowner splitter. I've tried a lot of different methods for splitting this type of wood. And to be honest, for the most part, over the last few years, when I get anything that's too big to pick up, I've decided it's just not worth my time to fight with these big rounds. Some species you can split with a maul and some are just too much work. But I've got 2 different options I want to compare today and see if any of them does a better job. Now, interestingly enough, when I did it with the Easton Made Ultra, I timed it. So we have a time reference. First thing we need to do is cut this in half. It's long enough to be 2 giant firewood rounds. Then we're going to test one of them on the vertical splitter. We're going to test the other one using the splitter on the Baumolite mini skid steer. For the first part of this test, we're going to use the vertical splitter from Power Split International. This has several advantages over any splitter that I've ever tried before on big rounds. Number one, the big thing is it has the log lift. With the last set of logs we put on the Easton Made, I was straining, but I lifted it on myself and I could actually feel it in my back the next day. But this is a lot bigger. I actually don't think I can pick that up. Having a log lift is almost a necessity. Either that or a splitter that you can work at ground height. But I've shown that before too, down on my hands and knees trying to position a round onto a vertical homeowner splitter. So this is going to give us the best bet. I'm going to see how long it takes to do a round on this and how much physical labor is involved. Oh, this is no joke. Ah. This is the type of footage that I would normally speed up but I'm playing it in real time because I want to demonstrate accurately how much of a struggle it is to move a chunk of wood this size. Wow, that was rough. That was one firewood round, 16 minutes. I would give an allowance of a minute or two at the beginning when the pedal got stuck, just because it hasn't been used in a little while, and I had to tap it one time to free it up. But I don't know if you guys can see, it's in the 80s out here, and I am sweating like a dog. And it was everything I could do to get that round onto this table to split it. And I could have moved this over to here, but do you want to move your splitter? The splitters aren't easy to move either. I've even got a little dolly there for moving them. And I don't want to move the splitter to every round. You can use the tractor to get them onto the table, but that's making it easier. That's definitely not speeding it up. Now we're going to try the splitter mounted on the front of the mini skid steer and see how that compares. Time and effort and everything else involved. And whether or not I have to use just that or if I have to have two splitters. Now, people have made the comment that, how many of us really have a mini skid steer? Well, that's not really the point, because you can put a splitter like this on a full-size skid steer. I've done that before. You can put one on an excavator. Mike from Outdoors with the Morgans has that. You can put one on a tractor. You can put it on a mini skid steer. You can put a splitter on any type of equipment that you happen to have. And then the relevance becomes, like I said, is it faster? Is it easier? Is it effective? Let's find out. That was not at all what I was expecting to happen, but I show everything, whether it goes according to plan or not. This is elm, and it's stringy, and it's green, and it's fresh, and it took me just as long to split with that as it did with this, because it just didn't want to push through the center. I could only nibble off the edges. So most of this is ready to go in the basket. Some of it needs resplit. So I'm going to go ahead and resplit this. That took 16 minutes. That took 16 minutes. It was the same, but now we're going to have another 3 or 4 minutes of resplit here. Then I want to try this out on just some regular firewood that's not all gnarly like that. So that was some tough stuff to split, and it doesn't matter how you do it. I can tell you for a fact, personally, at 43 years old, I'm not capable of splitting that material with a splitting maul. I just couldn't do it. Like if my life depended on it maybe, but as just from now on, every time I get a big round like that, I'm going to do it with the splitting maul. It's not happening. It's also not happening that I'm picking it up and putting it on a splitter like that. This is an improvement, but to be honest, the only way I'm going to split rounds that big is like this with a machine that's made to do it. The fact that it was so stringy made it really hard to split. If it was more dried, more seasoned, and a different variety of wood, or a little bit smaller pieces, that would do a lot better. It was a good little experiment, and while making a video, this only had a few sticks of wood in it. I basically did a third of a cord while making this video. So it was a productive day. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.